Dow Jones down 343 points today. As I continue to watch these business shows on the television and all these business analysts, one of the big topics the last few days, last week, was Peloton, this bicycle company Peloton, and their financial troubles. Yet, Ford Motor Company recently just had their debt rating downgraded to junk. Nobody talks about that. We talk about a bicycle company which is supposedly worth $4 billion, while Ford Motor Company, worth over $140 billion, making autos and trucks throughout the world, one of the biggest automakers in the entire world. Yet we're talking about the problems of a bicycle company versus Ford Motor Company, one of the oldest companies here in the United States of America, one of the biggest, having their debt rating downgraded to junk. Nobody talks about this. Nobody is really talking about reality and what is really taking place in these markets, in this economy, things that are really going to affect you. If Peloton dissolves tomorrow, nobody's going to be affected by it. But when we have automakers like Ford being downgraded to junk, this is what we should be talking about, yet nobody wants to talk about the truth. It's Tuesday, October 1st, 2019. Before I start the show today, I want to thank the very kind woman who came up to me today at the grocery store who watches the show. It was a pleasure meeting you. I wish we had more time to talk. Please tell your mother I said hello. Right now, let's get into what is happening. Let's talk about this crash. The crash that is going to be opposite of what we witnessed in 2008, where it began at the bottom and rose to the top. This crash is beginning at the very top, and it is trickling down. We're watching the luxury real estate market fall off of a cliff. We're watching luxury retail fall off of a cliff. The government right now is buying bonds. They're propping up the equities market. The banks right now cannot function without printing and injecting cash into the U.S. banking system. So the banks, the elite, the people at the very top right now are already getting a bailout. It's starting at the very top right now. Banks are running out of liquidity, and in doing so, the Federal Reserve is having to inject $100 billion a day into our U.S. banks. So this is beginning at the very top, and as you've seen in my past videos, wealthy people now pulling back, not spending money on luxury items like they once were, luxury real estate slowing way down, and we're seeing massive problems at the very top, at the banking system. And these people, the banks are getting bailed out while the average American is struggling paycheck to paycheck, going deeper and deeper into debt. Wow, our banks and our markets have been hijacked by these elite. So we are watching things deteriorate at the higher end. There was an article last week on wolfstreet.com talking about the condo market in Miami. And when we look at high-end real estate, New York, Los Angeles, Miami, we're seeing telltale signs that big trouble is coming. I've got some numbers here. South of 5th, this is condo sales. Closed sales south of 5th were down 40%. The average sale price was down 15.88%. Miami Beach, closed sales down 14.1%. The average sale price down 8.4%. Bal Harbour, closed sales down 16.2%. Average sale price down 15.2%. North Beach, 63rd to 86th Terrace, closed sales down 12.8%. Surfside, closed sales, no change, but the average price is down 45.7% to $1.34 million. Key Biscayne, closed sales down 32.5%. Average sale price is down 36.2% to $1.1 million. I mean, this is just unbelievable. Downtown Miami, closed sales are down 5.1%. The average sale price is down 6.1%. Edgewater, Sales are down 1.8%, average sale price down 9.8%. Just a sign, it's an indication of what has begun. Zero hedge today. Stocks, bond yields plunge after dismal manufacturing data. A second contraction in U.S. manufacturing has sparked a selling off of stocks, and it created a bid for safe havens like bonds, gold, and silver. Gold and silver both had a good day today, but it's still mind-blowing that most people do not see the value in the two most undervalued assets on the planet, gold and silver. Remember, the vast majority of U.S. profits are from the manufacturing sector, and that sector continues to shrink. Really think about what we are manufacturing here in America. And what comes to mind to me is we manufacture more consumption and more debt. Our manufacturing continues to leave America and go overseas. And it is really going to be one of the major downfalls to the U.S. economy next to the debt. We're not making anything here. When we go into mass recession / depression, whatever you want to call it, how are we going to get out of this as a country when we are not producing anything other than debt? We must be making things here in America. I don't know how we're going to get out of this depression when we are not making things. How do we have a good economy, yet manufacturing continues to drop? ADP payroll tomorrow, we'll keep an eye on this. The ADP payroll data, this is seen as a preview for Friday's September government employment report. This will come out tomorrow, and so we'll keep an eye on that. If this data is shaky, expect a bad day on the stock market. Right now, things are so well in this economy. Things are booming so well in America. And remember, I support this president. I do not want to see this president fail because I know what's coming. 64.7% chance of a quarter-point rate cut for this month of October, another one. And I believe that I think we're going to see some very serious volatility coming. Dow Jones down 343 points today. And why is this a shock that these manufacturing numbers are dismal? What is the shock here? We've been talking about this every day. We don't make anything here. The economy is doing so well that there is a 64.7 chance of a quarter-point basis rate cut this October. We just had one. Get ready for another one. I believe this month is going to be a very volatile month in the markets, and I believe right now I'm going to put this number at 90% that we get another rate cut in October. This Fed is in very, very big trouble. I believe that they kept rates too low for too long. We were at near zero for way too long, and then they raised rates 7 times under this president. They raised rates too fast, and now they are falling behind the market. They are now literally chasing the market, and they're chasing a falling market. Balance sheet expansion continues with these bank bailouts. The Fed is running out of money. The balance sheet is expanding. They're going deeper and deeper into debt. We will get another rate cut in October. They're running out of ammo. We need 4 or 5% to lower. In just a recession, not a depression, but in a recession. We don't even have that right now, and we are going to lose another 25 basis points this month. So the Fed is expanding the balance sheet, taking on more debt, and having less ammo to deal with the coming tsunami that is coming to America. And they are not going to have the tools to get out of this recession. And when this thing goes full bore and develops into a depression, what in the world is going to save America when we don't manufacture anything, when we have massive amounts of corporate debt, household debt, government debt, federal debt, name it? What is going to get us out of this depression? Ask yourself that. This is why it is so important that you are preparing, because there is going to be no help. Forget about calling the police. What if that EBT check doesn't come? What if that WIC check doesn't come? That plastic card's not working? Heaven forbid, there's some type of grid problem, or there's a cyber attack. There's just so much that can happen, and usually it happens at the worst possible time. So we could be in a full collapse, and then what if there's some type or some sort of attack? Are you prepared to deal with what is going to be lurking out there on the streets of America? Most people are not. You've got to be getting in a mental mindset right now to be dealing with this stuff. Socially, financially, what could happen? You've got to really start thinking about this. I mean, this is not a conspiracy. This stuff is happening right now, right here today. U.S. manufacturing is now at the weakest it's been since 2009. We are really falling here. September manufacturing PMIs from South Korea, Indonesia, South Africa, Italy, and the UK all printed below 50, including us right here in the United States of America. This confirms an ongoing global weakness, a global slowdown. Also, Sweden, we're not even going to talk about them because they were just a complete disaster. More problems here in America. This is creating more bubbles, inflating the bubbles even more. Home flipper lending hits 13-year high. What can possibly go wrong with that? 41% of flip properties were bought using mortgages. I remember back in the day, back in 05 and 06, when everybody was flipping houses, getting their mom and dad and grandparents and brothers and sisters and boyfriends and girlfriends and the hairstylists and their manicurists, everybody in on these deals, just trying to get money from anybody to go flip another property. The guy next door, was flipping 3 or 4 or 5 houses at a time with money that wasn't even his. The flippers are back, and the competition is fierce as there are fewer and fewer foreclosed properties to bid on. Again, haven't we seen this one before? Investors in this article said it's always smarter to use a mortgage because you get leverage. You can do more deals. Also, banks have become a little more easy in lending in the flip business. The Fed has, again, re-blown the housing bubble. The last chance for a good deal was 7 years ago. It's always smarter to use leverage to get more deals. Again, what could possibly go wrong with this? We saw this play out back in 2008. We're going to watch it play out again, but this time the bubbles are much bigger, and there's way, way more bubbles than there were back in the day. Midwest faltering economies will spread pain nationwide. This is the Wall Street Journal today. Make sure you're doing your due diligence. Farmers are getting in serious financial trouble. Loan delinquencies and bankruptcies are exploding. Expect China and bad weather to continue to devastate the farmers in the Midwest. So they had massive rain in the spring. They've had continued bad weather in parts of the Midwest throughout the year. The China tariffs not helping. So this is a bad combination for the farmers. Now we have the United Auto Workers on strike at GM, also in the Midwest. The Midwest represents the real economy here in America, and the real economy is getting decimated. The Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago tracks non-farm business activity in Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin through its Midwest Economy Index. The index was in negative territory for the 5th straight month in August. Readings below zero indicate that the growth is less than the historical average rate. The July reading was at minus 0.37. It's the worst since 2010. And it just continues to worsen. Business confidence dropped 4.9% to 47.3% in the third quarter, leaving at the lowest level since 2009. This is happening in the Midwest. Tariffs are affecting prices and business activity. Pain in the Midwest will quickly ripple outward throughout the nation. CBS News Los Angeles, Southern California gas prices pass $4 per gallon. How is the consumer going to keep up with this? I was out driving today. I saw regular gas at multiple places exceeding $4, around $4.29 for regular. What if another event takes place at one of these pipelines? Are we going to see $5 gas, $6 gas? But right now, we're seeing $4 plus gas here in Southern California. And at some point, there's a breaking point here for people in California where they're just not going to be able to drive, or they're going to be very limited on how much driving they do. And how is it going to affect the auto market here in Southern California, in states that are seeing these massive hikes? If oil goes up, it's going to have consequences on the economies, many economies around the world, especially China, who imports massive amounts of oil. So we'll continue to watch what happens. But don't be surprised to see another event unfold in the Middle East with another refinery being hit. SHTFplan.com. Something is wrong. The Fed is offering $100 billion a day in loans to unnamed banks. And ask yourself, how many of these unnamed banks are foreign banks? But where's your bailout? Who's helping you? The middle class being absolutely decimated right now. The malls across America are ghost towns. They're just gone. Retail shopping strip centers all over America are just completely vacated. You watched my video last week on what's happening to the luxury retail market out here when I was at El Paseo. Roughly about 20% of the stores are gone. Who's helping the mom and pop retailer? No one. The money is flowing to the very top. So while the Federal Reserve is pumping $100 billion a day into unnamed banks in the U.S., and how many foreign banks are they injecting hundreds of billions of dollars into? We don't know, because nobody's saying anything. Because this Congress is too busy trying to impeach this president instead of informing you what's really going on, because they don't want you to know. They want to destroy this president, and if they have to destroy America in doing it, they will. That really just makes you think about our Congress and the people who sold us out decades ago, who continue to sell us out, who sent all those jobs over to China, who sent all those jobs over to Asia, who made China so powerful financially, militarily, politically. These same people are more concerned about this president. Now, whether you love this president or hate this president, you have to know that these people do not care about you. They will destroy this country. They will bring and implode this economy down just to try and end this president. The average American doesn't need to worry about this president. They need to worry about these politicians. They need to worry about these people in Congress. They need to worry about these officials in the CIA, the FBI, Department of Justice, some of the highest ranking law enforcement officials in the country, who have lied, who attempted to overthrow this president, who thought that they knew better than you, that they counted more than you, that they weren't going to allow this person to be president, no matter what you thought. They didn't care about your vote. These people attempted an overthrow. This is very, very dangerous. Again, whether you love this president or hate this president, this is extremely dangerous. These people are traitors. They sold your jobs out. They sold our security out. They're allowing invasions to take place continually right here in America. The people who should be held at the highest standards in the FBI, CIA, Department of Justice, and so many more, these people are criminals. They're traitors. Yet the average American is just consuming all this garbage in the media, watching TV, and then don't really know who the real enemy is. There are a lot of enemies out there, and they're in very, very powerful places. They're in very dark deep places. And their agenda is not to help you or to better your country or to help you make more money or to get you a job or to have you have a better future, your kids have a better future. These people here are globalists. They want to destroy this country. They want to bring it down, and they're going to do whatever they have to do. And I truly believe that they are going to disrupt the U.S. economy and implode it. And we will see the greatest depression in our history. And it's going to be brought upon by these people. Again, what have they done for you? All they can do is obsess over this president and just to try to destroy everything America stands for, allowing people from all over the world to invade, injecting all this money into the banking system, not telling you what's going on. And we have these massive bubbles that are about to burst. What are these people doing for you? They're not helping America in any way other than by dividing it. And this is why this depression is going to be so much worse than the first Great Depression in America, because we have such a divided country, socially, politically, spiritually. And if you don't really open your mind spiritually to what's happening, you are not going to understand the full effect of what's going on. You really have got to spiritually get in touch with what's going on to really understand what's happening and what is about to happen. Daily Mail today. No force can shake this great nation. This is President Xi of China. They had a military parade involving 100,000 people. They introduced the DF-17 hypersonic missile. It can hit anywhere in the United States of America in under 30 minutes. These same politicians who are bailing out banks, financial institutions, bailing out foreign banks right now, the same people who sold you out, sold your jobs out to China, a country now who has the biggest military in the world, the biggest bank in the world, the biggest manufacturers in the world, the biggest steel producer in the world, now has the DF-17, a hypersonic missile that can hit Wisconsin in under 30 minutes. And you really think that these people in Washington are really looking out for you? These people will all be on planes, going to private islands, going to foreign countries with foreign bank accounts, getting out of here the minute something happens. Not only is China the biggest manufacturer, not only does China have the biggest bank, the biggest military, not only producing more steel than any other nation in the world, China now wants to have the world reserve currency. Wolfstreet.com today. U.S. dollar status as global reserve currency slides. China struggles forward in slow micro steps. China's not stopping. They're advancing. And they're a huge threat. I know these politicians tell us it's all about Russia. It's Russia. It's Russia. No. The biggest threat to America is China, whether that's financially, economically, militarily, manufacturing. Everything now is heading to China. And I know that there's people out there that can't accept that, but you've been sold out, you've been lied to, and you've been dumbed down. China is now a world superpower, and America has to stand up to them now, or it is over for America. America will no longer have the world reserve currency, and when that happens, America will be a third world country overnight, and that is a fact. I'm going to close this video out. Before I go, we know a depression is coming. People write me in the comments all the time, what can I do? Well, there's a few things you can do. First off, get in better physical shape. That's without a doubt one of the most important things you can do. You're going to rely on your body in bad times. So get in better physical shape. Now, if you can only go walk a block, we all have time restraints, we have responsibilities, we have limitations physically. And so I understand that some people can do more than others. If you can just walk, 1 block a night, great. If you can walk 10 blocks a night, great. If you can go to the gym 5 days a week, that's great. If you can only go 2 days a week, great. Do what you can do. Do what your schedule and your limitations allow you to do. Doing nothing is not going to improve you. Doing something, even if it's a little, is going to help improve you. Get in better financial shape. You must be acquiring hard, tangible assets. Gold and silver, the two most undervalued assets on the entire planet. If you can buy 1 ounce of silver a week, great. If you can buy 100 ounces a week, great. Do what you can do. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. If you can only afford to buy one a week or one every month, that's what you do. If you can buy more, then buy more. But I believe financially, bettering yourself is holding hard tangible assets like gold and silver and putting some cash away. Spiritually, get in better shape. Be walking closer to God. Be saying your prayers. Be thankful to God every day for another day of life and being here and being blessed for everything you have, whether that's family members, friends, a roof over your head, food, a job, what have you. We are to thank God on a daily basis for everything we have and prepare mentally. This is important too. Mental preparation. Prepare, because you're going to be seeing things here in America that you never thought you would ever see. And you can only prepare so much mentally until it actually happens, but prepare yourself that, we may be seeing some very violent, chaotic things erupting here in America that we didn't think was going to be in our town or in our neighborhood, that we may be forced to deal with. Make sure your security, that you have security. Make sure you're training with security. That's super, super important. So, get in better physical shape, get in better mental shape, get in better spiritual shape, and get in better financial shape. Remember, I deal with SD Bullion and I deal with SD Bullion not because, like so many people think, that I own the company or I own a gold mine, but I deal with SD Bullion because so many people in the comments referred them to me, and I became a customer of theirs. They've been fantastic. I have a link down below. You can go to that if you need to make a purchase of silver or gold. SD Bullion, link down below. They've been fantastic. Again, I don't own the company. I don't own a gold mine or a silver mine. I use SD Bullion because of the people, because of you guys down below referring them to me, and I've been very happy with them. I don't care if you go to your pawn shop, the local coin dealer, another company on the internet. Just go somewhere reputable and make sure you're acquiring at least some gold and silver, whatever you can afford. If you don't have a whole lot of money, then just get what you can in silver. Junk silver, another option. Just get it. It doesn't matter who you get it from. Just make sure it's reputable. Make sure you're acquiring it. So mentally, get in better shape. Physically, spiritually, financially. Make sure that you're improving all elements of your life. That's what you can do right now, starting today. God bless every one of you. And remember, if you're not improving yourself, if you're not making these preparations, I do believe you are going to suffer severe consequences when this depression hits America, and it's already beginning. Don't be that person that thinks he's going to prepare when it happens. Prepare before it gets here so you are prepared. Otherwise, you are going to suffer the consequences, and I don't want to see that happen to anybody. God bless every one of you. Talk to you very soon.